We have done some 2020 outlook so far this month. I thought in this video, we switch it up and we do a little bit of a gold versus Bitcoin video. We'll look at the past performance, the pros and cons, and some headlines for each. Then we'll come up with a long-term outlook and then possibly open up a trade on the Currency.com platform. Looking at gold here, that's about the beginning of 2020. It has been pretty bullish. It's up about 16%. And it's been on a strong upwards trend since the beginning of 2019, before the COVID pandemic started. And it looks like this bullish trend will continue. Compared to Bitcoin here, Bitcoin is up about 30% since the beginning of the year. And the price action is not really as stable as gold. And that is one pro that gold has over Bitcoin. Let's compare the two a little bit more. So comparing the two here, pros and cons for gold and Bitcoin. Bitcoin, one pro here, higher potential profits, but the con to that is it's extremely volatile, with gold being less volatile and lower potential profits. When you're trading with leverage, the potential profit doesn't matter as much as long as you're managing your risk properly. Second pro for Bitcoin and cons here is it's easy to store, but a con is that it could be replaced by another cryptocurrency in the long term. For gold, it's historically has proven its value, but it's easier for it to be stolen or taken away or confiscated. And gold has proven its value over time. For thousands of years, it continues to be seen as that store of value. But gold is also physical, so it's easier for you to lose it. Next thing for pros, for Bitcoin, transactions are faster. It's an intangible asset. Pro for gold over that is a larger market cap, but it's harder to store. So with Bitcoin, send it to anyone across the world. They'll receive it within minutes, depending on how congested the transactions are. It's also harder to use it as a currency because it's extremely volatile. So I could send it to you and within 30 minutes, it could be down 5%. But with something like gold, the market cap is larger. So if you were to give someone gold, it won't change much within 24 hours, as Bitcoin can potentially even drop 50% in 24 hours by something happening. So next we have here Bitcoin Pro, harder to steal. The con, unproven value. Gold here, tangible asset, but it's difficult to send and receive. The way Bitcoin works, it is harder for someone to steal your Bitcoins unless they have your private keys or they have access to your hardware wallets or log into the exchange that you use. Bitcoin does have an unproven value. It is only about 10 years old now, and people are still learning how it can be added as a new asset class. But gold has been around for a very long time, and it has proven its value. That way, the market cap is larger and the price is not as volatile. But the downside with that, gold is then harder to send and receive. You can't send it cross borders like you can with Bitcoin. And that's why Bitcoin is gaining the name of the digital gold. So last thing we have here for Bitcoin, the users you are technically anonymous, but there is a risk of unknown technical flaws within the blockchain itself. Gold Pro here, it is an inflation hedge, and the con is market manipulation. So with Bitcoin, the transactions are not anonymous, but the users themselves are anonymous, unless an exchange or someone you sent your Bitcoin to keeps track of your Bitcoin address. Then you can't really tell who is sending Bitcoin to who. The con for Bitcoin is there is unknown technical flaws in the Bitcoin blockchain. And when we run into those, or if potentially someone can figure out a way to hack the blockchain, then we could run into a serious issue. Pro for gold over Bitcoin in that aspect is gold is an inflation hedge. As inflation increases, lots of investors hedge into gold. And we'll be talking about that next, about billionaire investor Paul Tudor Jones, that he does hold part of his net worth in Bitcoin and gold. A con here for gold is also market manipulation. So since gold has been around for thousands of years, and certain people, if you have a lot of money, you can manipulate the market. But I think this is kind of a con that falls in a lot of assets, not only gold, but also in Bitcoin. Because you do have whales that are owning a big chunk of Bitcoin, and they can move the price a few $100s, cause fear to make it continue to drop, or they can continue to make the price go higher for them to get out at a certain price target. So the market manipulation is kind of a mixture in both of con in both of these. But we will see less market manipulation in Bitcoin as it becomes distributed more throughout the world and more people are holding it. It's still not clear if Bitcoin should be put in the category as a store of value or as a currency, but Goldbug, Peter Schiff, said that he agrees with the Fed that Bitcoin should be classified as a fiat currency. Peter has been anti-Bitcoin and does not really like it being compared to gold. He said in a tweet that he categorizes it with fiat, and that gold is a real value. There is nothing new in Bitcoin, except for the way it is exchanged, and that gold will always be the number one safe haven. But billionaire Paul Tudor Jones, he seems to have a different opinion. Let's read up what he said last month. We did cover this in a video we posted last month. You can see that on our channel. Paul Tudor Jones, billionaire investor, he did mention last month that he put part of his net worth into Bitcoin as a hedge. He did mention that a portion of his portfolio was also invested in gold, and he sees gold going substantially higher if inflation spikes. And he said for Bitcoin, when he thinks of Bitcoin, he sees it as a tiny part of his portfolio, and it may end up the best performer out of all of them. He said he just has about 2% of his assets in Bitcoin, and that seems to be the right number right now. He mentioned that every day that Bitcoin survives, the trust for it continues to grow. And as the trust continues to grow, it may possibly be seen as the number one safe haven in the near future. So the long-term outlook is bullish for both gold and Bitcoin, with Bitcoin having more potential growth. But to match up to this, what we're going to do is we're going to open up a long position on both gold and Bitcoin, and we'll follow up on that at the end of the year to see how each is performing. So I'm going to start off with gold here. I'm going to open a long position. I'm using about 0.10 BTC as margin, 50 times leverage. And I'm going to put my stop loss. It's going to be pretty wide, but I will trail it as we go on through the year. But I'm going to put it under this 200-day moving average, starting off right now at 1543. And my take profit, I'll adjust that as we go on later in the year. So we're going to open up the trade now. And then now let's do Bitcoin. So I got Bitcoin here. Current price, 9,371. Starting off the second half of 2020. I'm going to open a long position. 0.5 BTC comes out to about 0.10 BTC with 5 times leverage. My stop loss, I will put that right below the 200 moving average also, right here at about $8,000 for now. And I will adjust that as we go on through the year. Take profit, same thing with that. I will adjust that as we go on with this trade. So we're going to also open up Bitcoin here and finish off this video. So we just opened 2 trades, one on gold and one on Bitcoin. We will follow up on how they're performing at the end of the year. My overall opinion on gold is gold will continue to be gold. It has proven its value for thousands of years, and it will continue to be the store of value for previous generations and generations to come. And as for Bitcoin, I think we're at the beginning of witnessing a new digital age for a store of value. Since things like gold and silver cannot be digitized, Bitcoin is easier accessible to newer generations to trade, to hold, or to even exchange as a currency. And as Paul Tudor Jones said, every day that Bitcoin survives, it continues to build trust to be seen as a digital gold. And that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments if you prefer gold or Bitcoin as a long-term investment. And I'll see you next time. It's John at Real John Doe from Currency.com. For more trading videos just like this, please subscribe to our channel.